everyone. And what a beautiful day it is. It's a day to recognize our miracle lives that we live. And today I'll tell you how it all began. You know, when Adam was in the Garden of Eden, he was lonely. And he let God know that he was lonely, and God said, all right, Aaron, I'm going to make you a companion. She's going to be beautiful, she's going to be witty, and she's going to be faithful. She's going to do everything you command her to do, and she will do anything I have to give for that. And God says, you'll have to give an arm and a leg. Adam says, that's pretty steep. What can I get for a rib? Is there anybody here from another unity? Anybody here for the first time? All right, leave your hand up. Leave your hands up. If you have, we have a gift for you, an amazing gift. No, it's a bag of marijuana. Don't smoke it all at one service. Over there? Okay, good. Cool. I just want to remind you, we have a potluck where everybody gets together. We sit down, have a good rap fest in the fellowship hall after this service. So if you haven't brought anything along, a covered dish, you can go out and just get some item from the grocery store or even 7-Eleven. Bring it with you and join us. It's a lot of fun to get together and just talk. Today, Syntysche will be speaking about something very clear and very good to hear. You are going to love this talk.
Welcome to Unity of Boulder. Those of us who are joining us here in person and those of you who are joining us online. We love sharing time with you each Sunday either way, so we appreciate it. We've got a few quick announcements of things coming up here. As Jack said, we're having a potluck following this service over here in Fellowship Hall. Everyone's welcome to attend. If you have a dish to share, please bring it. If not, you're still welcome to come on in and hang out with us, so we would absolutely enjoy that. And Norma is going to be celebrating the summer equinox this Monday, June 20th at 7 p.m., provided the weather is fine, which we hope it will be. We'll do it outside by the garden out back here. If not, we still do it. We just do it inside here. You don't have to sign up for that. There's no cost associated with it. We do take a love offering. But there'll be a lot of singing, dancing, chanting, and drumming. If you have your own hand drum, please bring it. If not, we've got plenty. That is at 7 p.m. on June 20th. So that's always a good time and always has a great turnout. Now I've got a special announcement from our friend Steve, who is out of town right now. So I'm going to play this video of Steve announcing an upcoming event of his.
It's good.
Rolling.
All right. Hello, Steve Hayes here, reminding you that we have a freestyle spiritual dance starting in a couple weeks. It's called Spirit in Motion. It's unlike any dance event you've been to before. It's all about sacred healing, community, flow. It's safe for all ages, no choreography, no experience necessary, just your heart as a guide. So check out our mission statement.
So that's coming up, so please join that if you'd like to try a new dance experience on one Sunday a month on Sundays. And we have more information about that in the lobby. So for those of you who are watching us at home online, we'd love to ask you a favor. If you're watching either on Facebook or YouTube or even watching one of the videos in our video archive on unityofboulder.com, please hit that like button. Or if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, please hit that like button or the subscribe button. The more we do that, the further reaches Facebook and things like YouTube push us out into the world. And it's just a quick like. You just hit that little thumbs up, and it really helps us spread this message a lot easier and faster. And if you feel moved by today's sermon or a sermon from last week or a few weeks ago, it's all up on YouTube under Unity of Boulder Church. If you just search Unity of Boulder Church, you can find any of them. You could share one you remember from a few weeks ago or today to a friend and have them watch it. It's a great way to introduce someone new to Unity, so we'd love it if you would do that. And now we'd like to welcome out today's musical guest, Marcy Baruch, who has graced our stage plenty times. Do we have a Marcy back here? I know she's here. She's coming. Oh, she will have a special guest musician with her today. I'll bring the clicker back.
Let's all stand. Let's get the presence in this room and feel the prayerfulness of this beautiful song that Marcy's here to share today. Is my microphone on? Yeah, okay.
Kyo. Do you want to say that with me? Nam Yoho Renge Kyo. And it is the first line of the Lotus Sutra in Buddhism that captures the essence of our capacity that is inherent to open now to the Buddha nature, to the Christ nature, whatever doorway you want to use to enter that nature that is essentially nameless, but that is who and what we really are. Nam is from the Sanskrit namas, to dedicate or to devote oneself to the fundamental law of life.
While you're standing, let's say, thank you, God, for this beautiful community. And turn and meet one another and get each other's names. Pat yourselves on the back and say, thank you, God, for me. That self-love, that self-encouragement is what keeps us going and keeps us being nice to each other, because when we love ourselves, we're so good to this world and this planet. My name is Syntysche Groverland, and I'm the spiritual leader here. And I'm moving on from a talk that I gave last week. I just want to go a little further into it, just because it's one of my favorite topics, which is really finding and discovering the signs and symbols of spirit and how it shows up in our lives. When we have those moments where there's an actual palpitation of knowing, we are in direct connection with this power of love that is divinely guiding, moving through every aspect of our lives, when we really take to notice how that charge comes into our life, because it's always coming in and through, it's always directly available, but we do get blocked because we block ourselves from this greater love. And life can do that, especially if we start looking to the world for answers. You know, as they say, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we have to plant the seeds in the work of the spiritual soul first, then we face the human world. If we face the human world before we've powered up and meditated and chanted or whatever it does that makes you feel directly connected with this energy, then we go out fragmented and we add unto the fear and the fall of what we're seeing going on in the world, instead of getting that spiritual armor that connects us, grounds us, and puts that vibrational energy that moves ahead of us as we move into moments, and it changes the fever or the energy of our jobs, our relationships, our every interaction, because we're spirit first before even food. So today's talk is You Are the Miracle, right? And when we begin to understand that we are the miracle, we have to take to task our greater good. I shared a video last Sunday of Helen Schuckman talking about what it was like for her. She penned the Course in Miracles, or she channeled the Course in Miracles. It depends on what feels comfortable to you. This is a very esoteric talk. I'll get back to the Christian part next week. And I'm going to talk about actually how the Bible talks about reincarnation and how it actually does speak that is a part of our journey. So Helen Schuckman, who penned the Course in Miracles or channeled it, in the video, she's being interviewed and she's being asked what it sounded like when she was hearing the words that came through her to write the Course in Miracles, which was a whole philosophy that was different than her Christian upbringing. It didn't fit her at all. So she didn't even understand this language and was like, what is this gibberish? But she knew, there was a knowing that this book had to be brought into the world. And I will use a quote from the Course in Miracles in a little while. But finding when we know we're in that direct connection so that we may really listen or look or feel into what the universe is trying to show us, to move forward into a greater unfoldment of a powerful miracle existence. And if we're experiencing a lot of blocks right now where you're feeling like nothing will work, that's an awesome moment, because that means it's all about to break through. But it's a very scareful, fearful moment when you feel like everything you touch will not manifest, will not move, will not. But as you use these teachings, you will learn how to move through these obstacles, because those obstacles are your direct teachers. They are there in divine appointment. You can, with your free will, decide to walk away and try to walk around it and take another path. And that path will be good. But Unity students tend to want to go straight into the awakened process, where we're more in tune to our intuition, our psychic abilities, our peace of mind in the midst of the torment and the turmoil of the world. We want to walk strong in the power of this love and exude it, regardless of this world showing, and start being a part of the healing that we're looking for in this world. We're taking to task our own consciousness on this journey. In The Magic of Surrender, it says, by Kute Blackson, there's nothing ordinary about this life. In fact, when you simply focus on the miracle that is your very life, then you begin to realize the miracle that every moment already is and has been all along. We just didn't see it. Then your eyes are open to see and experience the profound beauty that is all around you. Let's stop looking for a miracle and realize that you are one. When we embrace the idea that miracles are not only possible, but that you are already living one, that you yourself are proof, then we become open and available to even more. It's then that we begin to access magic. When we embrace the idea that miracles are not only possible, but that you are already living one. If it doesn't feel like you're living one right now, then something has gone very wrong. So, and it's not to get you nervous that it's all gone very wrong, but you've missed the mark. That's what we call in unity sin. Myth that's to be unfolded at this moment, like the lotus flower opening. But things are feeling off because you're not willing to shift and pivot and grow. So we get stuck, and they call it stagnant. It's like being in stagnating water. It won't move. It's almost like quicksand. It just is pulling you from what is possible in you. But when you realize that the miracle is here and now, don't point to the whole world, and I'm sure you'd like to show me all the things that would prove to you that it was different than that. I don't want to be a part of that consciousness. I want to remind you of the frequency and the consciousness that's in you that can live in the midst of a miracle regardless of hardship, heartbreak, you name it. But we have to look at how we apply this kind of understanding when things are difficult. When things are difficult, operate with other people. So therefore, right there, life can be hard, right? We all have friends, and we have friends that we kept from different phases of life, and they come in and they just kind of shake everything up. Or we have ex-relationships that we might have children with, and we have to co-parent with them. That's always difficult. There's a lot of difficult stuff that we have to face day to day. And can we remain rooted in this power of love, regardless of those? Because all of those challenges, again, are also part of the divine. They're part of growing the soul. You know, Edgar Cayce says that we put before ourselves in this lifetime actual obstacles we made choices to face. What if you look at the difficult things that you're going through and you realize that you chose them? You could possibly have chosen this terrible, horrible thing that you're going through right now. To understand that there's something greater, there's more to this physical life, right? I had a son that passed away a few hours old, at full-term baby, and I birthed him into death. I held that baby and had to do something that was so beyond what I thought was possible in a lifetime. And that very experience 100% changed the course of my life forever. Forever. And my relationship with him is right here. He is no separate day, some day that I'm going to get an answer. I remember my mother-in-law at the time said, well, when you die, then God will tell you why this happened. And I was like, I'm not waiting. That doesn't work for me. Okay, I'm like instant gratification, think and have. That's our relationship with spirit. When we really live in this spiritual life, we can think and have. We can manifest. I mean, it wasn't a think and have. It was a good year before I really could clear the grief off of myself to get a bigger picture of life. It made me so much more curious about the ethereal realm. It awoke in all of my want to know what does happen when we move to the other side, so I can actually focus about how to live here. So I know how to have the relationships with the ones that have passed. So we have to be able to take some paces back and look upon our life and see a reoccurring theme, right? It's a great way to put a lens on the very things that is keeping you from your good. Maybe it's different relationships, but the same set of difficulties are set in the way. Maybe you get a new job, but the same problems occur and you are feeling judged, underappreciated, or taken advantage of. Whatever has been this like thing that you've repeated over and over again, and you keep thinking you're a victim, and you've like drawn the unlucky cards this lifetime. But when you realize that all these reoccurrences are you, and what you're bringing to the vibration of the world, and everybody else is signing up to that vibration. See, this is where it is tough, and this is what makes unity hard. Because you might just think, well, I just didn't get it good this time. I wasn't popular in school. I had things that happened, and so now I have this low self-esteem, and then you go into a situation like a job, or you go in to try out for a job, and somebody else always gets it, or you get it, and then you lose it. And the reason why you're losing it is because vibrationally you're walking in going, I'm not enough. I'm not lovable. I'm lost. I'm lonely. And the vibration we're bringing out is this energy of you need something from others, and people just scatter from you when you need something from someone else. But when you come in assured, vibrationally, this energy is in front of you 5, 10 feet ahead of you before you walk in, people feel that. And you're embraced and you're met by the frequencies that hold that energy. And then we become a force to be reckoned with in this world. But we have to take to task these places where you're seeing this repeat, like a sort of Groundhog's Day of something that keeps repeating it. It might be relationships. Every relationship somehow breaks up in a similar way. Is that the universe against you? Or is it you harboring something that's birthing the same experience over and over again? And what do they call that when you expect a different result when you're doing the same thing? Insanity. But we don't know what to do. What are the tools? How do I change that, right? We have to be able to be with self. We have to learn to love ourselves even in those places. We have to be the Christ consciousness in us that holds that part of ourselves that's broken till we can build it and merge it with the more unbroken parts of ourselves until it evolves into the highest, right? As it did before, you have to realize that you're willing to do something different. Until you can do something different, don't do it. If you haven't healed whatever this thing is that you keep repeating, don't go back into a relationship or into a job where you need to keep having this mirror of things going wrong. You got it. All right, we have work to do. Lack of self-love. Going into situations and recreating another thing where they are shown with a mirror that they are not enough. And until you realize that you are enough and you build up this spiritual power, you will keep having more and more experiences like this. This is all this is about. We are here to heal ourselves and to heal this world. But you can't heal this world till we take to task ourselves. In A Course in Miracles, it's written like this. No one who understands what you have learned, how carefully you learned it, and the pains to which you went to practice and repeat the lessons endlessly in every form you could conceive of them, could ever doubt the power of your learning skill. There is no greater power in the world. The world was made by it, and even now depends on nothing else. The lessons you have taught yourself have been so overlearned and fixed, they rise like heavy curtains to obscure the simple and the obvious. See not you cannot learn them, for your power to learn is strong enough to teach you that your will is not your own. Your thoughts do not belong to you, and even you are someone else. Whoa. How do we unpack that? And even we are someone else. See, but what is that someone else? It's that divine potential, which is always there as a seed in us. We came completely fully realized divine potential. And then the universe, people, things, parents, schoolmates, started to mirror to us that something was missing in us, and we started to believe it, and then we started to degenerate. So we started to find these masks and false ways of functioning in this world to cover up and lost who we are. So we don't really know, because we really are someone else. But at the core of who we are, and in meditation, in self-realization, we remember. We remember who we truly are. We remember what we want to have an issue with keeping jobs. So this person's near the end, probably 10 years out from like retirement, and never could hold a job for more than 1 or 2 years. And this counseling session was around, why is this cycle happening to me? This person was highly educated. This person was an educator in the school system. And it was this, she would just notice that she'd go into work, she'd get a new job, it seemed like everything was going well, and before a few days, she felt the teachers talking about her behind her back, and feeling a sense that she wasn't allowed in the main room where they all chatted between classes. And then it was just more and more of a wall of feeling like that she wasn't good enough, and the story went on, till they would collaborate usually, and eventually get her fired. And she didn't know how to change this. This was a Unity student of forever. This was like one of those last pieces, one of those last reoccurring nightmares that was like, Syntysche, help me. I don't know what else to do. This happens, and this is the kindest, sweetest person. So she's in this point where she's at this breaking point, maybe a year in, and she's feeling the rumbles and the people talking behind her. And I just hear the whole set of the things she's saying is happening with her, and I see the brokenness, and it hurt me to see her. Very often I sit with people and I just cry with them, because I know what it feels like to feel. Empathy is sometimes all somebody needs is to be seen. I get that you're in fear. I get that something's happened to you, that you don't even know what you're doing because it's from a subconscious place, and yet you're preceding yourself with this energetic thing that keeps taking the very childhood. Was there anything that she could remember? And she said to me, it's been like this since the day I was born. School was like this. My teachers never liked me. I was put, if I tried to put my hand up, the answer was always wrong. I was always humiliated in front of people. So she got this early messaging that she wasn't smart, that she was annoying to people. Right? So how did that little child grow up and become a powerful being? She went to school, she got master's degrees. So we do all those things. We get all these degrees and go, no, really, I'm smart. I really am smart. But yet can't keep a job. Because that early messaging, that early building up in this being, she was still broken. She hadn't felt that self-love. So we had to look at when she felt that way in her life, in her childhood. She said she could identify with these kind of problems from the very beginning, even from her own parents. Even the parents had this distance towards her that her brother and sister didn't have. And this is when you have to look at the bigger picture. Something bigger is happening here, because if a child comes in, it's like immediate rejection even from parents. There is a soul growth, that the soul is going to come in and either do great things or be destroyed. That's where people go, some people get a better hand than others. Nah, we all get hands, and we have really great phases and we have really hard phases, and that's part of life. It's the yin and the yang. So I asked her, have you been given any signs or symbols from the universe? And she said, she went on to say that other people see eagles flying in the sky all the time, or hawks or bluebirds, but I see vultures all the time. And we laughed about it. It was just like, okay, because I'm always saying like, oh, and I saw a red-tailed hawk, and we saw it. It's always got to be this like gorgeous creature. So in my office, we looked up the animal totem of the vulture. Pretty bird, right? Another mirror reflection of loveliness. You got to laugh at the universe, because it could just break you up in so many ways. But when you find the happiness, it's so beautiful. The vulture symbolizes purity, restoring harmony, preventing the spread of disease, and being noticed for what you do instead of how you appear. Even if this bird is associated with death and other sinister ideas, The turkey vulture symbolism is about cleansing, adaptability, patience, loyalty, innovation, community, protection, death, and rebirth, renewal, tolerance, and protection. So there's a lot here she could take in for whatever she could connect with from another lifetime. The vulture's meaning in Tibet is of a sacred bird because it feeds on dead bodies, not on living beings, thus cleansing the country at the same time. They have a festival dedicated to these birds, which is associated with the idea of reincarnation. That was where the aha went for all of us. Oh, I mean, obviously, when you look back here, she needed community, she needed protection, she needed to build a spirit that has found itself fragmented. I don't want to ever say broken, but the pieces need to be put back together. So, but in the end, this is what stood out, which is associated with the idea of reincarnation. So this could go back to that idea, again, that she may have chosen, that she was ready to do a big leap this time, right? So Casey's approach to reincarnation focuses on practical ways of dealing with life in the here and now, by living, growing, and being of service in the present. As Casey said, it isn't nearly so important who we have been so much as it is how our past actions affect our present conditions and what opportunities and challenges we face because of it. So we can look that she might not know what happened in another lifetime. It may have just been a karmic contract to say, I want to grow a lot this lifetime. Like, I do feel that that's when I birthed my child to the other side, to the ethereal realm. That was a gift. That was a gift. And I do believe I chose to go through that experience, to thin the veil, to be in the work of God, and to understand the bigger picture of the spiritual experience. And I wouldn't be able to stand up here so assured of what I've seen if I hadn't been through that and then been shown and walked back into my wholeness. So that's what we're here to do, is to help each other, walk each other back into their wholeness. So Edgar Casey says it this way: in the studies, then, know where ye are going, to find that you only lived, died, and were buried under the cherry tree in grandmother's garden does not make thee one with a better neighbor, citizen, mother, or father, but to know that ye spoke unkindly and suffered for it, and in the present may correct it by being righteous. That is worthwhile. So there's kind of a little bit of a moment right here that could say something could have happened in another lifetime, that maybe this person spoke unkindly and now has a lifetime of feeling people doing that. But all we ever have to know, and Edgar Casey says, is we just have to remember what we did. The second we get that connection, we'll get it in a meditation, we'll get a moment where the light bulb goes on and we feel it. We felt that lower nature of something we did before. That memory stops this process from growing and being harder here. It's about opening up, that we've got a greater wisdom, that we're being fueled from so many different directions to heal and grow and be magnificent and work the same miracles as Jesus said we could do through us. Promised us that we could. If we went to the Father, which is God, Spirit in us. So, the concept of reincarnation might be called the gospel of the second chance. Even though one might die through the forgiveness of God, he or she is given another opportunity to press on toward the ultimate goal of perfection through re-embodiment. However, let us make this clear. This is no fixed doctrine of unity. It is simply a glorious possibility. Unity suggests it as an answer to the many puzzling questions that arise about death. It is often asked if reincarnation is true, but its direct allusions are few and are quite subtle. It would seem that the belief was so common that it was taken for granted. For instance, Jesus asked the disciples, "Who do men say that the Son of Man is?" in Matthew 16:13. Their reply was, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and others Jeremiah or one of the prophets," in Matthew 16:14. Their reply would seem to indicate that the idea of reincarnation prevailed among the people. Here the messenger appears to be a prophetic is the prophet Elijah, whom Jesus identifies as John the Baptist. Does this mean that John the Baptist was Elijah reincarnated? Your Christian churches don't want to talk about this. Do you know why? Because this whole idea of heaven and hell puts them in control. It gives them an opportunity to make you be in fear, that whenever you make a mistake or you are in error, which we call sin, or missing the mark, which we call sin, which is we make mistakes. But we should now burden ourselves down with more and more guilt and shame. So then we're in this fear, so we do service for the church. We give money to the church out of this obligation that we really want to make it to the pearly gates. But when you realize that you're responsible for yourself and God, then you're holding yourself responsible for actually having to come back here and have to face some of this turmoil that we're putting out into this world because we're not taking to task who we are, the Christ beings of consciousness that should be added unto thee. So that's, I think, scarier, honestly. That we have to go to the other side and face ourselves, and the universe is like, oh, I don't know, you missed the mark there, you missed the mark, and you're going to go back. And you're going to feel that abundantly. So it puts us in the driver's seat to go, I've got these fragmented areas of my life, and I'm drooling all over everybody that I know about, complaining about these things, and I'm needing more and more of their attention, and da-da-da. Or am I ready to divinely, directly connect with this power of love and really take to task my understanding as a perfect child of God? Perhaps the clearest illusion is in the 9th chapter of John, in the case of the man born blind. The disciples are puzzled about the reason for a man's having been born blind. They asked, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Obviously, the question reflects a clear allusion to a previous life. It shows that the belief did prevail, and Jesus' answer indicated that both theories were reasonable because he did not reject or ridicule them. He simply stated that they did not apply in this case. It was not that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be made manifest in him. By having this challenge of blindness, that the works of God may be made manifest in him. What does that mean? Because if you think about if you have a child with a disability or blindness, that's going to grow the parents. That's going to grow the parents to protect, to be the ears, the words, the everything for this until they give the wings to this child. And then this child that's been born blind will find sight in other ways to overcome this discouraging situation. And we are that. We are given these discouraging situations to overcome so that we may know the greater power of God that lives within us, that we can overcome anything. Or we can choose to be a victim of the challenges that have been handed to our lives. And nobody likes that feeling. You might get attention from other people, and you might get love and prayers and things like that. But in the end, you're still left alone with God. And they can't patch those holes in you. Those areas where you feel fragmented. So we can't give up when we're in the face of these type of challenges. So when it came to this woman that I was counseling that seemed to always be left out of the clique at work and couldn't identify somewhere in her life, this lifetime where this occurred in her childhood, it started to appear that it was a set of circumstances that was growing the inequalities to shift and grow some sort of subconscious apparition. And we did it together. You know, I was there for her because I could see her. I sat with her. I felt her heart. I felt the beauty of who she was. And all she needed was someone like me to mirror and remind her that you are a beautiful, powerful child of God. And I'm here with you. You can call me anytime. Let me remind you of why you're so unique and wonderful for this career that you're in, for the love that you have for these children, for the love that you have for people, regardless of what's been done to you. And we started working on affirmations. We started, at night, I had her, when she was going to bed, just repeat to herself, I am a perfect child of God. I am worthy. I'm interesting. I'm loved. And I'm seen for all of my God-given qualities. She said this affirmation and visualized each person in her mind's eye that she previously had become quite paranoid about, and saw them enjoying her friendship and company and respecting her. And she just kept repeating this affirmation at night, and then in the morning, she worked that affirmation in the morning. And then she'd visualize her day before she went to work, and she saw herself being welcomed as she welcomed others, and she saw a camaraderie happening, and she started to change her minds. She stopped talking about what was going on at work with her husband and everybody else and get their attention. She stayed quiet. This was hers to manage and grow. And before you know it, she had friends. All that fever, all that anxiety, all that pressure she was under was melting away every single day as she took to task what she was harboring in her heart and her mind. She knew she was lovable. She'd been in unity her whole life, but she was believing this vibration because she was sharing that first with people, that she wasn't enough. Energetically, they got that. And you know, it's like a wounded animal. Something will it pounces. There's this energy that we hurt things that are down. So we got to get lifted. We got to get powerful. It's like when we run into, I don't think a bear, you get bigger. I think you just run for your life. But like mountain lions, you get really big so that you look scarier than them. Or, you get that energy is full and the frequency as high as you can. So we have to take to task the frequencies that we're carrying. It's kind of like, remember like the old TV antennas? Some of us do. Some of you are probably too young. We had to move the TV antennas until we actually got a station. Who doesn't remember? That'd be even funnier. Do you remember TV? Okay, good. So it's less than, okay. We have to move them around till we found the frequency for the particular channel. So I'm going to just take you into a meditation and share what I do in the morning to get myself connected to the highest frequency, energy I can before I leave my house, before I even really join my children, when they wake up. It's about getting in this energy where you build your energy for protection for yourself, for meeting others with just pure love. Even when you're walking to the grocery store, you might not even talk to anybody, but they just feel it. Have you ever heard of heart math? Any of you? So if you've seen the visual of heart math, I thought about this while I'm up here, so I don't have a slide of it, but I'm going to take you through it. So we're going to turn some music on and get your feet flat on the floor. And just close your eyes. And let's just take a deep breath in and out. I do want you to take a look at the altar up here, which we have a crystal with the color green on it today. I change the colors each week depending on my sermon. And the color green is the color of the heart chakra. And that's where I start in my visualization when I'm sitting in the morning. I want us to put our hands on our heart and just breathe into our heart. Just feel what's resonating in you today. What stood out that could be applied to bring more healing, love, and balance into your life. So then I like to see the heart chakra, the green, right in the middle of our chest, start to blaze open till it's filling in the cavity of our body, moving upward through the throat, up into the face, eyes, head, until the light is coming out the third eye and up to Father Sky. And now let's just take that green light and visualize it coming down the throat, filling in the shoulders, the chest, the arms, the major organs of the body, the circulatory system, clearing the blood, cleansing the body, and filling in through the bones and the hips and just getting everything so juicy and healed and loved. Seeing this green light going down the thighs, knees, calves, and out into the ground, going deeply into Mother Earth, and just anchoring you into this heartbeat of God. So now we're anchored with Father Sky and with Mother Earth, or Divine Mother. Keep this light going up and down. Come back to the heart, and now see this light expanding outward as a force that's going out of the body 10 feet. And then start to see it moving like a wave, both directions, splitting in half, coming all the way around the body, coming all the way around the back, and coming back in through the body. So it's creating this heart-centered vibrational energy that's creating this frequency of light that's proceeding out the front of you, coming back into the back of your body. And just breathe in this divine, frequencied, energied bubble. And sometimes I invite friends that are facing physical issues into the bubble with me. I invite the challenges into the bubble with me to cleanse and purify and bring back into balance that which is being called. Bringing into mind any physical thing you're facing right now, or a love relationship right now. Just bringing it into this healing bubble for purification, for greater understanding, for communication from higher frequencies. And at this point, if you've invited somebody into this bubble, please ask them to exit at this point. Let this be your divine bubble for your heightened connection to this greater something we call God, Spirit, Source, Love. And as we come back into this room, you just keep that bubble there, and it exists in your day. Blessing each and every person that's in front of you, behind you, beside you, but most importantly, blessing you and protecting you. So we come back into this room with a greater understanding, a greater connection to this divine love. And we thank you, God, Spirit Source, for the miracle of this life and the miracle that we are. And so to this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now.
We have freely received beautiful information that's applicable to our lives, wherever we are, whatever we're involved with. And that's the unity ideal. Carry the message into our lives, become emissaries of the divine message of truth. So, once again, we've been blessed. We have the opportunity to give back to that. Those of you that are watching this on the screen, you have these different ways that you can donate to Unity of Boulder. I invite you all to come and join us. In fact, you can put things together and join us for this potluck taking place right after the service. We won't really get it started for about 10 or 15 minutes following the service, but come on in and bring a covered dish if you got one, or pick one up real quickly at the 7-Eleven or the grocery store. That's great. We just want your company. And so everybody here can make a donation if they want to this basket at this time. Let's all bring to mind that financial gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. And let's bless that gift with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies because I give. And so it is. Amen.
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing.
and her mom trusted me, and we would go out and feed the ducks. And I say privileged because how many of you remember when you were about 5 years old? 10? So how many people were there to say, you're okay, you're going to be all right? And somehow enough people were around to tell Katya, like, you're okay, you're going to be all right. She blows me away. Not unsurprisingly, this is Syntysche's daughter, but she is an old soul in a 14-year-old body, and a mind that is just sharp, and a heart that is huge, that fills up this whole auditorium. And I've had the privilege of knowing her for a long time, and coming back after a little hiatus and seeing her as this young woman blossoming just has blown me away. So everybody say hello and congratulate Katya when you see her later, because this is the person who's going to lead us to peace. She and her colleagues and people like this, these are the people that we need to lead this world. Women especially, you know, so Katya, thank you. I think you're amazing, and I thank you for the privilege of working with you, and the mic is yours.
I'm okay.
Wisdom is quiet, remember that. But Katya, thank you for everything that you've done. And
We got flowers for you.
Vivian, Lulu.
I want to give it to her.
Okay.
It's the cutest thing.
Okay. I have the pleasure of honoring Grace, who is my high school senior in YIU. And she is another strong woman who is going to make things happen and change, if not in her own life, then in the world as well, but definitely in her own life. When I first met Grace, I thought she was the older sibling, but it turned out she was the younger sister of one of my YIUers. And that maturity has always made every year, man. It's made her like a peer of mine. It's easy to talk, you're easy to talk to engage with. I can always trust on your help. An artist as well, though she is going to go to Cal Poly to study sociology. Oh, wow. Yeah. So she has decided to take her own path, and this maturity, even though it is always present, she always has this inner child, which I really got to see and enjoy during our lock-in. I mean, like full-on giggle fest. It was something that just always warms my heart to see that you've got both sides so very present. And she has a talent to, when she makes up her mind about something, that's it. She doesn't waver, ever. And it's
one that is far more comfortable offering empathy and support and vulnerable enough to receive it in return. Most importantly, I have gained the tools and ability to connect and engage with people from various backgrounds and... Woo!
Thank you so much for letting us honor these two wonderful humans. I wanted to do this before we actually leave on our trip, and she gets to get honored by all of her peers at our legacy rally. So thank you so much.
So I just want to invite Marcy back up. We're just going to close with Amazing. Let's just sing that song again. I think it's best. But let's just sing the last part, and we'll just do it over and over again. Yeah, you guys can all do it. How about you all stand up and let's just put our hands towards them, and we're going to sing Amazing. You will do amazing things to these kids. Teenagers, young adults. All right.
Ready there? 2, 3. We love you guys. Amazing, amazing. do amazing, amazing. You will do amazing things. Let's do it again.